Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Anil Joshi. Welcomes you to my series Iconological and Temple Architectural Perspectives. To know why Pattadakal is important, there are two things. One thing is when it was formed, at what stage of temple construction this place Pattadakal came into existence, and why of all the places they have selected Pattadakal as the place for such a huge, gigantic, marvelous, beautiful temples. Now we'll know step by step one and another. The name Pattadakal means it has come from the word Pattabhishek. Now what is Pattabhishek? Is the crowning ceremony of the king. So crowning ceremony of any king has to be in a best possible place. It has to be auspicious place. Now how Pattadakal becomes a auspicious place? Because the river Malaprabha, though usually it flows in south direction, but once it comes near the Pattadakal, it takes a turn and start going towards the north direction, and this particular sign they take as the auspicious. That's why for crowning ceremony of any king, for any auspicious occasion, they have selected Pattadakal. Now second is its chronology. Pattadakal has come after many experimentation at AIHOLI. AIHOLI was considered as a laboratory. Now after the experimentation of laboratory in AIHOLI, they started implementing in Pattadakal. Now all temple development, right from the rock cut till such gigantic constructions, beautiful constructions, you can see in this area, particularly Badami, AIHOLI and Pattadakal, and all were by Chalukyas. Now after certain days, Chalukyas lost to Rashtrakutas. However, in spite of that, the development of beautiful temples did not stop. It kept on happening more and more. Now once we enter this UNESCO protected area or premises, we can stand at one place and observe that there are multiple temples. Now how to identify a beauty and chronology as far as time is concerned, I'll tell you. From here we can see three types of shikharas or vimanas. Shikharas is a North Indian word and vimana is South Indian. Now why we have both? Because from here you can see both types of temples, South Indian as well as North Indian. South Indian are called as Nagaras and South Indian are called as Dravidian style. So both are seen here, and that's another beauty of this place. Now once we stand at the entrance, we see Kadasiddheshwar, then Jambulingeshwar and Kashi Vishweshwar as the smaller shrines. Smaller in the sense as compared to the other one, but if we really consider them, they are beautiful and adequately large. Now there are two Dravidian style of vimanas, we should call here, are seen from here. They are Sangameshwar and Virupaksha. These are the two South Indian typical Dravidian style temples, and the most important thing, Virupaksha temple was constructed in honor of king when he had a victory over Pallavas by his queen. So a gift by a wife to the husband, or a victorious husband, let us call it. He has a good victory. Now let us come to the combined type of Dravidian as well as North Indian, that is Nagara type. They can also be called as Rekha Nagara. We have seen in details why it is, and we are going to also see when we'll see the individual temple. Here we are going to have just a overview. Now similar temples of Rekha Nagara type you can appreciate in Jagannath Puri and Konark Surya temple. So they resemble that. As we have seen that there was a good exchange of architecture between north and south, and we have got lot of combinations. And typical Dravidian are Sangameshwar and Virupaksha. Then they have given a typical name for all these combinations. Maybe because Chalukyas had done it, maybe because at the time of Chalukyas it was done, so it was just named as Chalukyas or Chalukyan type of temple architecture. Now here also we can see many inscriptions. Now speciality of all this is they are donated not only by the queen, not only constructed by the king, but even a common man has contributed for this. And the great part of king is he has mentioned their names, and also the names of the artist is also written over there. Now once the temple, once upon a time considered as the center for the religious rituals, subsequently all social functions start taking place in the temples, as we have seen just now, a coronation ceremony of king, or maybe some celebrations of particular auspicious days of a year, or what they call as the particular god has got particular days on which it is worshipped by enlarged people. So also they are used for the other cultural activities. So that we are saying a typical presentation is the Ladkhan temple, which was initially as a town hall or a village assembly hall, which was subsequently converted into the temples. Now we have seen all in detail why we are calling this, why a structure resembling like wooden structure is seen at Ladkhan temple. So also many architectural wonders we are seeing here. Now with this brief, we are going to see now each and every temple individually. So let's get going to the individual temple. We are seeing a beautiful premises of Pattadakal. UNESCO has already put it in the World Heritage because of its beauty, because of its outstanding curvatures, outstanding engineering, designing, and why it is called so, we are going to see by considering each and every temple separately. We are seeing these all temples, 8 temples are big and there are multiple small. We are taking them separately. So this particular topic or this particular lecture is going to be on Galagnatha temple. Galagnatha is a small temple, but it is important because of its outstanding beauty, and we should consider this of the late 7th or 8th century. So that is most important, and already there are 1200 years are over. Now this Galagnatha temple is dilapidated of the 8th century and has northern Indian curvilinear or Rekha Nagara style. The Shikhara has Amalika motif with a final atop. Now if there is Amalika, it is usually followed either by Stupi or by Kalasha. North India, it is by the Kalasha, and that is filled with a Ganga water. But it is not here, it is missing. This is the Shiva temple with Shivalinga in the black basalt. So maybe possibly it is brought from somewhere outside, because here you will see all red stone. But as we have seen, that temples are going through the multiple stages of development, multiple stages of carving, and we have seen in many temples it is constructed by more than 3 to 4 stages. So all these things are very important, because whatever the earlier people has thought was continued by the next people, though there was win and loss in the war. But as far as temples are concerned, everybody is contributed to it, so that it is there for so many years, and even UNESCO has to take note of it. Now Galagnatha temples, Sabha Mandapa and floor are carved Pradakshina Patha. Now addition of Pradakshina Patha, as we have seen, right from the stone cut. Then comes these structural standalone temples. In that, Antarala was introduced next, and Pradakshina Patha within the temple complex itself was also introduced in subsequent stages. And all these experiments were carried out in AIHOLI, that was a laboratory. Now this temple you will see a Pradakshina Patha and also Shivalinga. Galagnatha temple lies to the east of Jambulingeshwar temple. There is a different video for Jambulingeshwar. You do see that and get the knowledge of how beautiful Jambulingeshwar temple is. Like the previous 2 temples, ASI estimate the temple to be from the mid 8th, 757, 80 etc. However, another scholar, Mr. Mitchell, states it is late 7th. So he states it earlier. Now whom we should believe is personal perspectives. Personally, I feel ASI department has got multiple scholars. They have got multiple freedom as far as researches, excavations, then decoding the inscriptions is concerned. So they are a bit ahead of any individual person. However, still any scholar doing any work in the temple or iconology or temple architecture are respected and saluted. The temple is North Indian Rekha Nagara style with a linga and a vestibule Antarala. That is the introduction. Late I told you, start from the cave temples till the structured temples. All developments are seen in this area. The temple sanctum, outside the temple is a Garbhagriha. You will find usually the main deity there. Here it is Shivalingam, and outside the temple is a seated Nandi, and Nandi always faces Shivji, that is sanctum. So that has to be, whether Nandi is in the temple complex or outside, whether it is in Nandi Mandapam or in open air, it faces Shiva, and he is always there. The sanctum has a curved circumambulatory path, that is the Pradakshina Patha. I told you this introduction, which was subsequent and indicating this is a Hindu tradition and maybe of 7th or 8th century, means temples construction started actually from North India Gupta period, and in North India it is the Chalukyan period, maybe from structured temples from the 6th century. This is slightly later because it has got a separate circumambulatory pradakshina patha. Now various mandapam exist in this temple, such as social or community hall. This is another role these temples are playing. One thing was coronation, as we have already seen for the kings, but even for common man there were a community hall, Sabha Mandapam, and best of it we see it in Lat Khan temple, AIHOLI. You must see that video. Then it was used for ceremonial functions, and there is also a Mukha Mandapam, of which foundation is only remaining. The entrance to the mandapam is flanked by the river goddess Ganga and Yamuna. Ganga stands for purity, Yamuna for the wisdom. The Galagnatha temple is mostly ruined except for the southern part, which contains a carved slab showing a 8-armed Shivalinga in a demon Andhaka while wearing a garland of skulls of Yajna Pavitas, that is the one which are sacrificed and purified from the yajnas. Also there is a sacred thread across his chest. So that is another indication which is not usually seen, that the sacred thread is a peculiarity of certain communities and it is always purified before wearing. So that is one of a little different thing here what we are seeing in the, you can say that it is iconology. You can see is in Murti Shastras all these things, that how the development takes place, or which god should wear which type of clothings and which type of ornaments, all they come under the iconology. We cover it bit by bit in all lectures. According to Mitchell, the Galagnatha temple is notably for being almost an exact copy of the Swarga Brahma temple of the Alampur in Andhra Pradesh. Now the temple that is dated 689, around 700. So lot of exchange of ideas, designing, engineering was taking place, and what he feels, it has got lot of similarities with one of the temple, that is Alampur in Madhya Pradesh. Now given both Alampur and Pattadakal were a part of the Badami Chalukya kingdom, an exchange of ideas is likely. Ideas are coming right from the north, so they can come from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana also. The basement of the eastern molding is notably for depicting phrases of Panchatantra's stories. You will find it in a later temple construction, stories of Panchantantras, such as that of the mischievous monkey and the fable of two-headed birds. All the Panchatantra stories were the moral stories. They were told to the children so that they will know how to behave in this world, what are things to be followed and what are things not to be followed. As we have seen, the temples were encyclopedias. Temples were center of the culture as well as education. Here we can see that this is a Galagnatha temple. This is a circumambulatory path. The other temple are described in some other lecture. Here you can see it in still more beauty. We were there early morning before sunrise, and these pictures are taken at the time of sunrise. You must visit temple at this time because they are with fresh air, fresh energy, and once you go there and sit for some time, then you will realize what is the difference between a morning, afternoon and evening. Mornings are definitely pleasurable, and it is a good time to give your worships. You can concentrate better and you can offer your pujas or worships to God in a better ways. Here when you are doing a photography, you will have to take a multiple temple photography because they are crowded, and if you want to take a full view, we have to take the adjacent temples also. Now here we are seeing Nandiji, then you can see the temple, circumambulatory path. So we are at a Galagnatha temple. The type is Rekha Nagara. You can see the Kalasha. You can see the, now here you can see this is the Kalash, then you can see Shikhara, then here Amalakha should have been, and topmost is the Kalasha. So Kalasha, then comes Amalakha, then comes Shikhara, then comes circumambulatory part, and then is the Garbhagriha, where the Shivalingam is there. Beautifully it is carved, and we should always also give credit or appreciation to ASI department for restoring it. Lot of restoration work in this area, especially if you want to see either AIHOLI or Vijayanagar. You can see the older photographs taken in around 1850 or so. Britishers have well kept, well preserved, and we can see how they were and how the reconstruction work has taken after that. And in Vijayanagar you will find at many places it was totally underground. It was full of sand, and it was not seen at all from outside. Excavation has taken place and they have restored it in such a beautiful way that this younger generation today can have a look at it, can appreciate the beauties, appreciate the techniques. Here the technique they use is an interlocking type. With that, these structures are standing for thousands of years, so you can appreciate the techniques. Here you can see Shivalingam, which is in a 3 stages, if you can really appreciate. The cylindrical, the octagonal, as it is said, the base is for Brahma, then octagonal 8 angles are for Vishnu, and cylindrical is for Lord Shiva. With that, we are coming to end of this lecture. I hope I have added into your knowledge. In case if your knowledge is more than us, please communicate to us so that we can improve, we can communicate better next time. And if you like the lecture, give us a like. And if you feel you should hear many more lectures, multiple lectures like this, then you should subscribe our channel. Thank you, goodbye, and take care.